Probably heard this 75 hard. What exactly is it? What is it? A challenge? Is it a program? Do you get in shape? Can you lose weight? What is it all about? Some of my team members and coaches here today are actually doing it, and we're currently on it now. So why don't we just jump right in and get the show started? All right, welcome back to another episode of the Brave Today podcast. The show is going to encourage and challenge, maybe even provoke you to step outside of your comfort zone. And we got something outside of the comfort zone for you today so that you can take more action, better improve yourself and your overall health. As I'm reading this, I'm thinking about how this amazing team right here is doing it. And we're excited to share with you in just a few minutes what that's all about. I'm your host, Mark Avens, in the crazy upside down world we're living in. People just being pushed to be softer and weaker, sicker, unhealthier, more dependent than ever. The goal and intent of the show is to help you navigate through it so that you can become not just brave today, but braver today than you were yesterday. A few details about the show. We do interviews, Q&A, flavor of the day, breakthrough. Today's more of maybe guest interviews, team interview, but we are going to be talking about what you may probably have heard of before if you've tried doing any kind of working out or fitness or following any influences. Probably heard this 75 hard. What exactly is it? What is it? A challenge? Is it a program? Do you get in shape? Can you lose weight? What is it all about? So it's something that's been in my field of view, so to speak. I've actually been doing it for a couple of years now, and it's been really, truly a game changer to the point where some of my team members and coaches here today are actually doing it, and we're currently on it now. So why don't we just jump right in and get the show started? 75 hard is the conversation. We are all currently doing it. If you're wondering who these beautiful women are, this is our Brave coaching squad, or the Brave Angels, right? Our coaching team. All three of these women were clients of mine starting back about 3.5 years ago. They found out about our coaching program, which was not called the Brave program at the time. And it was for women specifically to lose weight, get in shape, and to make some significant changes to improve their overall health. And Coach Jennifer and Coach Lanette and Coach JoAnne were a part of that program, and they did so well. They were helping. I'm giving you a little background story here before I let loose on these beasts. You guys are beasts just from what you're doing now, which is awesome. But they were doing so well in the program. And as we were growing, we saw they were helping just from part of their journey. They were helping so many other women get results. And I'm like, well, this is good timing because I kind of need some backup. I need some support and help. And lo and behold, we did some training. They're all precision nutrition certified. We do weekly trainings like this. In fact, this is typically our time that we meet on a weekly basis to go over clients' goals, kind of projections, looking forward, always learning and growing and developing. But with further ado, I'll tell you, let's have a conversation. You guys ready? Let's talk about 75 hard. Like who's doing 75 hard right now? All of us. All right. All of us. And we all started within about a week of each other, about the same time, give or take a few days. And I'm excited for you guys. I know just like myself, I failed a number of times, but let's talk about like what it maybe we go around and you can kind of give what you think of what it is. I know you can share kind of what you've learned. You read the book. You guys, we got the book too, the newest book. So 75 Hard is by this guy, Andy Frisella, and he has a new book. Show him your book. You guys got it. I just want a little Christmas present for you guys. Mental Toughness. This is Andy Frisella, the book on mental toughness. He had a book, I believe there's no more copies, and that sold out 75 Hard. It's actually the book 75 Hard. This is kind of the updated version that came out January 1st, I believe, and I just started it today. But 75 Hard. Why the heck are we doing it? Let's start there. Why are we doing it? Why are you doing it, JoAnne?
I'm doing it because I wanted to push myself mentally and emotionally and just learn how to tap into my inner self and grow within. And we're always growing without every single throughout the outside every day by doing our workouts and everything. I wanted to push myself even further internally and mentally, emotionally. And I'm telling you, this really does it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you have been, we don't have enough time to go into all your story and stuff, but you've definitely been pushing yourself and it's been getting and showing and revealing some really amazing results for yourself. Just side note, I can brag on JoAnne for a minute. She is a world champion dance competitor. and has been dancing pretty much your whole life. But I remember you wanted to come to me, or you came to my program because you wanted to improve on a lot of areas, one being your level of dance that you chose. You're like, maybe I'll do nationals. And that was a year or so ago. Maybe I'll do worlds. Oh yeah. Oh, maybe I'll do worlds. Next thing you know, you're, world champion as of recent, which is awesome. Congrats on that. So how about you, Coach Lanette?
Basically, I wanted to really tap into the discipline, and it gives me a definite schedule, which since I am now refired and not going to work into the office every day, it gives me a definite schedule of what I need to get done, and just kind of makes me more disciplined to get everything else woven into the 75 hard program.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, and discipline, you for a lot of years taught kids in school as a school teacher. I mean,
Right.
you had to be disciplined to be able to teach,
Right.
bratty kids in school and that sort of thing, which I applaud you for that. You need real good teachers. You've done that for a long time. And now it's your turn to, I guess, work that into your own life in your own season. Having
It
a
is.
granddaughter and grandchildren, more on the way and all those good things. It's going to be helpful to have that. It's really, really good. And I'll never forget, she came to our program just before, maybe within a year before her 60th birthday, said, Mark, I want to wear this hot outfit for my 60th birthday. Can you help me get there? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And we did it. And at the time, people were noticing.
Leather shorts.
Leather shorts, yes. For her 60th. You hear that? Leather shorts. Why not? Right? Why not?
Right.
Stuff. Awesome. How about you, Coach Jennifer?
I wanted to show my teenage son that I was still tough enough, because, when you have a teenager, they get bigger than you pretty quick. I'm sure you've experienced that with your son. You've talked about how he has outperformed you as far as at where you were at his age and where he is at his age.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at that now with my teenage sons. I have all boys, 2 adults, and of course the teenager still at home. And I got to prove to my youngest that I'm still just as tough as I was with the older ones, and keeping up with him, and having a hunting dog that I have to keep up with, and just leveling up. That's why I chose to do 75 hard, because I'll tell you what, when you got to take a hunting dog out for a walk, you might as well get credit for it. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you guys know, and we'll just share with the audience, 75 Hard is not a fitness program. It's not a weight loss program. It is a mental toughness program that has a byproduct of all those good things. There are people that lose weight, get in better shape, and make non-negotiables truly non-negotiable. So I'm going to just do a quick review on what that exactly is. And what day are you guys on right now? This is 75 days, and you don't get to make a mistake, because if you do miss one day or miss something on your list, there's a list of a handful of things I'm going to share. What day are you guys on now? I believe we're all.
I'm starting 12.
You're on 12 right now, right? And then I
Yeah.
believe 17 we're on, the rest of us,
17.
right? Yeah. So on 17, and there's a nice app. It's a free app that I think it's like $4, maybe a couple dollars, that helps you kind of navigate through that. Oh, I didn't even put my workout in today. I did my first workout. I did my 10 pages of reading. I'm going to go and do my second workout. But essentially, the mental toughness of this is, we, as humans in general, we kind of take the way that's going to be the least path of resistance, right? What's most comfortable.
Right.
But unfortunately, that's led us down of convenience, inconveniently. Like I say, inconvenience of convenience, comforts. Things like getting food delivered to your house, or, having the comfort of, not having to go out for anything. You can have stuff delivered. You don't have to go shopping anymore. Everything can be delivered. Instant gratification from your phone, right? Connecting to family, all that stuff. So there's all these things that have made it so convenient, but it's also made us very, very soft in our really, truly what we have deep down in us, which is to be great at something, right? We all have great skills, but in order for us to get better and to work those skills, it's something what Andy refers to as a perishable. It's perishable. Like your skill of being in shape is perishable. Eating habits is perishable. Things, if you don't work them, they end up working you over, right? So essentially, this program is 75 days of non-negotiables. And the non-negotiable is you have to do 2 workouts. The good thing is that any level of person could do this. 2 workouts, they're 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside, non-negotiable. Like no matter what the weather is, non-negotiable.
Right.
Now, of course, you got to be safe. He's not saying to go out in lightning storms and stuff, but you have to work that into your plan, right? You have to make them non-negotiable. You have to take, which is really, the most favorite part is the progress picture every day. You have to take a progress picture of your body, yourself, every single day. You need to read 10 pages, and that's in not a fiction book, fairy tale book. It's something that's going to help improve your life. It's something that can help move you in the direction you're doing this program for. You also to drink a gallon of water, a whole gallon of water, which is like, oh my goodness, yes. As I don't know if you have your water there. I'm about midway there. There you go. I'm going to take a drink so I don't forget. Drink a gallon of water, follow a diet, any diet. You just have to follow it, which really just means no like treats and sweets and things. There's no cheat meals. There's no like, oh, I did so well for the first 5 days. I get to have a cheat meal on Friday. I get to treat myself. No, it's not that either. No cheat meals or alcohol. So essentially that is the program and why it's so valuable. I wanted to actually get some feedback and have you guys have my team. This is my coaching team, by the way. These are my 3 coaches, and this is our coaching team for the Brave, our Brave Movement and Brave coaching program. Yes, the swag, more to that to come. We won't get into that right now because this is exclusive for my team at the moment and my inner circle. But I'd love to talk about your experiencing for the first time when you tried it, like when you're getting started to do it. Cause I know we're in it now, but I know we've all tried it before. So I'd love to maybe go around. Maybe we'll start with you, Jennifer, just kind of share, thoughts, experience, feelings, just so that the audience can know if they're ever thinking about it. Definitely read the book, get this book. It would be really good. I think the 75 Hard when I did the first time I read, but I'd love to kind of hear your guys' perspective from starting nerves, how you felt, like things that you're,
Well, this is the 3rd time that I've attempted 75 Hard, and I did not complete the first 2. One was weather related. I'm not letting that one get me this time. And one was picture related. So both of them fail. And I'd gotten, I think the farthest I'd gotten along, I can actually check. The second time I got to 55 days, and the first time I got to 19 days. And today, 17. This one's 17.
So you already passed the first one.
Yes, but I'm going to get it to 75 this time because I have so many checks and balances that go through, alarms that go off on my phone to remind me to keep up. So I do not forget this time, including an additional workout space in the evening in case I have missed one or the other of my workouts.
Backup plan.
Backup plan and a backup plan to the backup plan to the backup plan. Because I am not giving up. And the funny part was the second time I had done it where I'd made it to 55 days, I did not want to have to restart. And I was terrified to start again January 1st because that means I'm starting in the wintertime. And how many times, can weather get in our way, with snow and ice and cold and all of that stuff. I did not want to be a part of that. And here I am going outside and walking in 18-degree weather and walking in, I think the coldest I've walked in was 15 degrees so far, which for me is a nightmare, but we're doing it. And that's my outside exercise, is to walk in that weather because I don't think I could do much else, but I can't stand still outside. So,
well, it's one of the things that you were just sharing is that you don't want to mess up and not that you're the inconvenience or being cold and that. And it's funny because that's the exact reason why you need to do it, right? Because it's hard. Because I think a good part of it, you guys, all 3 of you have been in a program that did demand you level up to things with fitness and eating habits. And so like those things are fairly dialed in, right? It's the things that are more inconvenience. And I think that's actually what I've learned to embrace, this being the 4th time for me. I've probably attempted, I don't have the exact number, but I know I've attempted at least 5 other times that I didn't complete it. So I started, went for a week. I'm like, no, forget it. And even the last time when we moved, when we were moving, I was about 30 or 40. I can't remember how many days in, 30, right. 40 days in maybe. And then I forgot to take a picture. I just had too many distractions and I didn't have those backups and those notifications and stuff. I was too distracted, stressed. And then I say messed up and failed. Like I didn't complete it, which in a way is a good thing. We talked about that last night, right? Going through and having those because it's going to challenge you to decide. It's not a challenge, but it will challenge you mentally to decide, are you going to just let that be your last attempt, or are you going to do it again? Or you're going to learn what you did like wrong or right, or what you forgot. And that's what it sounds like for you, Jennifer. It's awesome too. And there's no doubt you're going to do it. Plus we have our check-in at the end of the day that you have, and we have to do it. And even if you miss that check-in, as long as you did it, but I think having those extra, I have like 3 check-ins with 3 different, my son's doing it again, 75 hard. He's doing it for the second time. My wife's doing it when we're in a group, and I have it and with a group with you guys. And I tell you, that's what's been really helpful, to have that assurance. It's not so much the accountability, it's the pressure that we talked about last night. Like the pressure, like the 3 or 4 of us are in it. It's pressure for you guys, like for all of us, like, and that's a good thing. That pressure is called mental toughness, developing your mental toughness, which is really, really good. How about you for Logo Coach Lanette, and then we'll round back to JoAnne after.
Well, I've started, this is my 3rd time. I started it twice. The first time travel got me. I was traveling so much, driving to, see my daughter and my son, different parts of the country. And I did not allow myself to stop driving for a 12-hour day to a 45-minute outside workout in. And I could have cheated myself and said, okay, I'm walking 15, 15, 15, and 15. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it either. I can do it or I can't. So travel got me the first time. That pesky photo, I just forgot. It was like, Dad, gummit, you wake up after midnight. And I'm like, they're time stamped. You can't do this. And it took me forever to even attempt to start it the first time, because I was trying to pick the perfect timing around my traveling, around weather, because yes, Jennifer and I have had this. I hate cold weather. I hate it. I did not want to do it. I told Steve, I told everyone, I'm not doing it in the wintertime. I'm doing it in the wintertime. It was like, but just to know that the first day I did it, it was snowing. We were shoveling snow, and that was my 45-minute workout. It had to be done, so I might as well get credit for it. It was like, check.
Yep.
The next day was a whopping 8 degrees. Woohoo! And if nothing else, it was too treacherous. I did, since I have both hips replaced, I'm not going to take a chance on slipping. But our driveway, and it's a really good steep driveway, is I walked up and down my driveway for 45 minutes, which was a workout in itself because it was the only dry space. And then yesterday, it was a whopping, I think, even tipped down even more. But today is going to be 39 at 3 o'clock. I know. Heat wave. I'm so excited. So yeah, just that. Now it's a thing of, I am not going to mess up. I am not going to mess up, because yes, I have the accountability of wonderful group hug people, but I also have the pressure of the group hug people going, And you all aren't doing that to me. I'm doing that to myself, but I know in the back of my mind, I'd be going, So.
Yeah. I mean, and we have our own coaching program that has a specific workout plan and nutrition plan. And we have some of our clients that are actually been wanting to do it. And now
I've got 2 that are doing it with me.
Yeah. And I think, Jennifer, do you have one, or just, is it Rachel's family, their whole family is doing it, right?
Yeah, the whole family.
Yeah, their whole
family.
And
this is funny because I was going to start on the 4th of January, and then I had to bump my start date back to the 6th. And I told him that, and Steve, Rachel's husband, said, nope, we're going to cross the finish line together. So we are all starting on the 6th. So
there's a little extra pressure there too,
I know, right?
Which is good.
Okay.
Which is good. And, it being very different than what we offer as far as our program, but really a great way to level up the toughness that you need. We talked about it last night. For you listeners, as part of our coaching program, we meet on a weekly basis for accountability. And then we also do a live training. We discuss topics on nutrition, things how to get through the holidays, how to ramp up your year, set some specific habits and goals. And those are all things that our clients get to develop those skill sets inside of our program. So we meet on Tuesday night. And what we talked about last night was that it was that not so much the goals, but more the pressure, like having that pressure, which is good. Like having it, that's kind of what we talked about. And if you don't apply some pressure, I just think it's easier now more than ever to be softer and weaker and sicker because so many people are. So even like if you start to compare yourself with others, it would be much easier for me as a 51-year-old male to compare myself with the average 51-year-old male who is fat, out of shape, that sits around, drinks beer, watches football, like does nothing for themselves health-wise, right? Like doesn't do any kind of like most. I'm not saying all, I'm saying a lot, like the general census. And for women that are over 50, right, this is the same things. It's struggling with hormones, weight issues, body issues, confidence level, like all those things. Same with men too, just on a different level because men are from Mars and women are from Venus, right? But I would say is like, it's so easy to just say, well, I'm doing much better than that person, right? I'm going to the gym at least, but that almost just basically lowers your expectations of yourself. Right.
It does. And I had a conversation really quickly with, Rachel this morning, and her whole family's doing her 10-year-old and her 15-year-old son. Oh. And I was just, doing a check-in. And of course, I know Rachel and her husband are fine because he's Coast Guard and everything. But I said, how are your boys? And she said, Gunnar, her 10-year-old, is doing it. And he's got himself his own little schedule. And he's making sure. And he's like, make sure and tell Coach Lanette I'm on point. And I'm like, okay, no more added pressure. Here's a sweet, but it's
so good. That's awesome. Well, let's have a chance. JoAnne, just kind of share as well for you.
Yeah, this is my second time doing it. The first time was over the summer, the past year, and I got through it. Got all the way through it, but I did have one scare. 23 days in, I fell asleep. And I woke up and I had like 5 minutes to check off my last thing. And I was like, whoo, goodness, I almost fouled that one up.
Well, that was, and you were doing it just with you at the time. It was just you holding yourself accountable to do it. So you did it without the extra. Like the first time when I did it, I was invited by my business coach, Vince, at the time, and he was getting a group of guys together. So it wasn't about losing weight or like, they were pretty fit guys that came in this group and started it. And we had that. I actually a little bit of a luxury because I had the extra pressure from my business coach, which kind of you guys now have with me, which is awesome. Maybe awesome, not so much, but you'll be thanking after you're done and complete it because you're going to feel amazing. But I remember having that extra pressure, but I remember the check-ins were really helpful just to that. Again, it was just not just the pressure to complete it, but the pressure to also be a part of something bigger with other people, kind of like what we promote within our movement, right? Is we want people to be part of this podcast is to help people become braver today than you were yesterday. And I do believe part of that brave courage that you need comes with being mentally tough, like in the world we're living in, right? Regardless if it's just speaking physical health, mental, emotional, spiritual, what have you, there has to be a level of toughness that you continue to pursue to some level. For a 10-year-old, it's going to be very different from a 10-year-old boy from a 50-year-old. But can you imagine if the kids today in schools were actually taught something? Now, it doesn't have to be like a 75 hard, but taught that kind of discipline at a young age, not by maybe their parents, but in the school system. Can you imagine? Like, I know when I was in school, I remember we had sort of discipline with our gym teacher. Like, I remember back in Catholic school, we had discipline with the nuns. I remember the gym teacher, if you didn't have your gear, it was really disgusting. And I'll remember, this is a funny story, but if you didn't have your gym clothes, and this might have happened to you guys too, and I've heard this before from people, if you didn't have your gym clothes, there was a set of gym clothes in the locker that never got washed.
Ew.
There was one size. It was like the champion shorts that are like kind of square, they don't even fit, and then a shirt, like a gym shirt that had like Southampton high school, high school. And if you didn't come, you had to wear that no matter what we were doing. It could have been sweaty from the whole year, it wouldn't be washed. So talk about some tough talk about some toughness. Now all kids, like I always say, it's partly why I want to push my mental toughness, because kids, they mirror what you do. They're not going to listen to what you say. They're going to see, and that's what I've been able to with an 18 and 20-year-old, is to see the value of our habits and working, towards mental toughness. And then my son, I was really proud of him because, and I know Rachel is so proud of her boys too. And I was proud of him when we moved. He was doing 75 hard as well. And he and I moved across, drove our stuff across country with the dog, and Nicole and Julia flew after. But we were driving. I think I'd already messed up the 75 hard, but he kept going all the way through. And then he messed up and he was so upset. I think he was like 50 something days in as well, like you, Jennifer. And he was so pissed. But then he was going to start it over. And then it was like Christmas. And he's like, I'm going to start it January 1. And that was when actually, I think Andy there's a group of people, a lot of people right now that are doing 75 hard, starting it. Thousands of people. And if you haven't heard of it, you've probably been hiding under a rock. So definitely want to check it out. And you can go listen. He has a podcast. It's definitely not for the faint of heart to speak, but he does speak a lot of truth. And one of the things that I know I've learned from him is that we have to be very intentional about how we treat our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. And we have to, if we don't push, if we don't put pressure, if we don't work those skill sets for us personally, not only will we lose at becoming as great a person we can be for ourselves, for our family, our spouses, our kids, grandchildren, but also people are going to miss out on your best. And that's kind of one thing I'm doing this for, is I want to be able to bring my best to others. And I know part of doing this for the fourth time, and I am planning this year to do the whole Live Hard program, which is a whole year program. I've never gone through that whole thing. I did phase 1, got about 20 days in, and there's some different tasks throughout the year, but this is the year that I'm going to actually get through and do the Live Hard program, which is all inside this book, which I'm excited to read more about and to get a little bit more understanding. But outside of that, well, let's say, what's your favorite part of, let's go best and worst. Well, let's do best first. What's the favorite part about the 75 hard, JoAnne?
My favorite part is how I felt at the end.
Yeah.
Did I just really do that? Really get through that.
Accomplishing it, getting through it for you. Yeah.
Amazing. And it just how much clearer my mind was and just how good I felt inside and out. It was amazing. And my worst has been,
we'll go through. We'll do worst after. We'll do worst. Let's do best first. Do best first. Yeah. We'll come back to you though. How about you, Lanette?
Basically overcoming what he talks about, the bitch voice, especially going outside in 13 degrees. And but the feeling of, we are, excuse my language, we are pretty badass. And we can do hard things. And I think of Jennifer, you were talking about you want to be that person for yourself, but to show your son, well, I want to be that person to show myself and to show my 2 badass Army kids that, mom still got it. And, Justin just came in from the field in Texas and it snowed on him. And I said, well, I went out and W'd, I can't say the word. I went out and W'd in the snow and he was like, good job, Mom. So to hear your 30-year-old son go, good job, Mom, I'm so proud of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for you, Lanette, I think what's cool, and I bet you what you're doing is planting seeds in your kids' minds that 60 years old, you can continue to push, right? Yeah. Like, because the other alternative, to me, it's not very attractive for me personally. Like, I don't want to just sit around and do nothing and let my body fall apart and let my mind fall apart and just watch TV all day and retire. Like, none of that to me sounds appealing at all.
How boring. No, I want to be in the big middle of everything. Yeah. It's like, oh, wow, you all are going to do this. Okay, I'm here. Let's do it.
But what's cool, and you guys know, Jennifer and JoAnne, you'll attest to, and you know why you're doing it now is because I think you saw that in your mom and your grandparent, like your grandma, like water skiing in the 80s or whatever it was, the age. But like, I think that's a blessing, generational blessing that's happened to you. And now you're able to do the same and potentially for the next generations, for the little ones that are coming, I mean, can you imagine if more people had that right now? Like, can you imagine that? And now, not everybody comes into this space or comes and tries the 75 hard because they had a great upbringing and environment and childhood and parents who pushed and all that stuff. I'm pretty grateful I had parents who disciplined me, but they weren't like fitness people. Like my mom's not at all. My dad worked. He was a farmer and he worked as a carpenter. He built houses and stuff. That generation never really, they had fun and played, but they didn't do like workouts. It's really our generation was the kind of the one, you know, in between ours, like Lanette and all, and our generations of people that's when kind of the whole fitness thing came about. So yeah, that's great. Best wise. How about for you, Jennifer? What's your best?
I'd have to say the best is the challenge that I'm putting forth with myself. And I realized I thought I was going to have an issue with the water. And then I realized that I actually drink more than a gallon of water a day. So that's actually the easiest part for me. So
I'm like a dog, Pavlov, every time I hear water.
I know, right? We all go, okay.
after I finish this, I will have to drink 4 more ounces to cover my day. And we're only, what are we? 1:45. So
Yeah.
So after this, I'll have my water done before 3 p.m. So
Well, my problem is last night I waited and I still had like 30 ounces to go at like 6 o'clock. So I'm chugging it. And in my mind is the bitch voice is trying to get to me like, hey, dumbass, you're going to be on the toilet half the night. So there goes your sleep. So in my mind today, and I'm at 40, so I'm good to go. It's 12:40 here, 12:45. So I'm good to go. In my mind, the learning lesson for me is, hey, dumbass, don't wait until 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock because you're going to then have a bad night's sleep because you're going to be up peeing all night long. Well, it's a lesson that I've learned within the program.
Right.
It's the same as like, I want to front load everything. I didn't want to get out of bed. You guys know from this Florida for the last 21 years to Colorado, you guys are all chuckling behind the scenes. But I purposely put my workouts early morning to go to the gym because it's too cold, really cold to walk, even though it's cold all day long here right now. But I said, well, when is going to be the least cold? So the afternoon.
Right.
So I was like, all right, well, I got to go to the gym by 6:30. It's minus 17 degrees yesterday when I drove to the gym, but I heated up the car before I went. The gym was open. I wasn't the only one there. It was quiet, but I wasn't the only one there. And I got done. And it was, again, a skill set that I developed, a toughness that I developed from part of being in this program, because the alternative was make time later in the day, which probably wouldn't happen to make it even easier to fail on this attempt. Now, fortunately, I have many attempts before, so I know what's really neat this time. So for you, JoAnne, too, have completed all already. And you guys, you're going to crave it. Like when you're done, you kind of don't want to stop. Like the hard thing is to stop because you've built that as a ritual and routine, right? Like we talked about last night, and the discipline to carry that out. And now it's become part of you. The hard thing is then when you fall off track, it's like even a little bit, it's way more noticeable after. So I noticed that during the holidays, I was slipping a bit, and not really slipping compared to the average person, but for me, it was. That's the kind of aha moment for me now, partly why I welcome the cold weather and going out and walking in that. I said, well, that's going to really challenge me, just like it is for Jennifer and like Lanette, same kind of deal. I don't mind the cold, but I'd prefer not to go walk and have to put 12 layers on. Like that would be, really awesome.
it's different when you choose the cold versus knowing that you have to go out there.
Yeah.
See, because like if, for instance, ski vacation, you're
Yeah.
choosing to go outside, but then
Right.
you get a little chilly or you're done on the slopes for the day, you go inside, you warm up, you do
Have a
whatever.
hot cocoa or, have some delicious pizza or,
Yeah.
a burger and fries, of course.
Yeah, but that's not the case. Now you're
Yeah.
actually intentionally choosing to go out. And one of the other benefits that I've noticed is because I'm forcing the mental toughness, I sleep better right now. It's
too.
like because at the end of the day, you're like, as soon as you check off that last box and send your little thing out, you're like, it's bedtime. It's time.
And
Like
it's
we're
dark
done.
at like 4:30, 5 o'clock anyway. So it's like, what do I like? That's the worst part of the winter. I think the hardest part of the winter is, and doing this in the winter is it gets dark so damn early. that it doesn't, like, if you're going to go for an outdoor workout, in the evening, it's just a little bit harder. I mean, you can do it, but it's just, safety wise, are you going to go walk, like going for a bike ride at night? I don't think it really is going to have, like, those type of things. It was definitely for me. I did do it January, but I was in Florida last time. The weather was like 60 degrees. I was dealing with more like rain. That was more of the challenge to get through. I think what JoAnne actually faced the first time she went through was some rainstorms and a couple of times in that. But once I was able to accomplish it and get through there, then the cold, and I will say, like, this is not part of 75 hard, but the 12-hour walk really helped me because I kicked off during 75 hard doing a 12-hour walk, which essentially is just you with you taking time out to go and be with yourself outdoors. And it was really cold. So the cool thing is, after doing that and accomplishing it and walking all day for 12 hours with no headphones, no like AirPods or podcasts or any of that kind of nonsense, it was a really not necessarily test. It just made it so much easier for me to go for 45 minutes to walk in the cold. Cause it's like 45 minutes goes by so quick, which is crazy. Awesome. So what's the worst? What was the worst part? What's the worst part, JoAnne?
My worst experience was this time around doing it. 6 days in, I was out for a walk and I started getting pelted with hail. And I was like,
screw this. And you're not, it's not like you can handle hail. Hail's going to knock you over. You're so little.
And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to turn around and go home. I'm going to keep going. So I just kept going with it and kind of doing like this, like, moving around.
Yeah. What does Papa Luch say? I know it's not his saying. What does he say about cold weather?
It's not the bad weather, it's bad clothing.
Bad clothing, right? Don't we hate that? It's so true, though.
It is true.
It's very true. And on a side note, I don't have it on right now. I do have my pants because I'm about ready to go out and it's a little warm in here. But I'll tell you what, now I don't get any promotion or money from this or proceeds, but Smartwool, and you can find those sometimes in like the stores like a TJ Maxx. Here they have a store called Sierra. And Smartwool is not cheap, but you can find some in these stores and man, they're good. Smartwool socks. We've learned about them from skiing. So it's a thin, but it keeps you really warm instead of cotton where you can get hot and sweaty and then you get cold. And then it's like, then it's miserable. Then you can get hurt and freeze and have sweaty body underneath, all that stuff. So definitely having the right gear for sure going out there.
I had on the shirt and I had this sweatshirt.
And Jennifer has still got a little windburn there. I can see from.
I always have redness on my face. That's just a part of me.
Oh yeah, but
I can try and cover it up. I can try and cover it up with makeup, but that's too much like work.
That's too much work. Well, so what was the worst part?
But I had this on, I had a big white bulky coat that had a hood.
Yeah.
And I had jeans and got some fleece line leggings on underneath my jeans. It was comfortable, but it was just, I was like, I just didn't like all the hail coming down. It wasn't bad. It didn't hurt too bad, but yeah.
I think like I've embraced when I'm out there, like I've been in the last few days and it's been really cold. Nobody else is outside.
Nobody.
But to me, I take it as, hell yeah, I'm out there. All you softies, I walk in the neighborhood, I'm like, back and you can watch, I was like, see, this is what's called somebody who is not being a little bitch and going out and doing it, right? And moving. Now, mind you, my big dog, Owen, is a little bit of a bitch because he didn't want to walk, but I think it was more getting acclimated to his paws. He was good today. It was 30 degrees, but when it was minus, he was not going out. Like anything under, I think 20 or so, he's not a winter dog. He had too much beach life, 7 years of beach living. What was the worst for you, Lanette?
Right now, just the remembering to take the picture. Yeah, I just that's the thing is like, especially now because I get up and I put on all of my warm clothes.
I'll do it before.
I know, and that's my mental. I do it first thing in the morning, but I turn on all the heaters before I do that because I'm doing it in a sports bra and shorts, and I real fast turn on all the heaters, go underneath the heaters, take the picture, and then put on all my clothes.
Nicole got me because I one of the times I goofed. That was actually no, not when one of the failed attempts. I didn't have a schedule for when I took my picture. I just kind of took it in the afternoon, like after a workout. I think when I got it, like got done after a workout and I take it, I was like, oh, well, I'll do that. I look probably better after a workout. So I'll just take it then. But Nicole was taking it because she did it with me the second time. She didn't do the first time, the second time, and she did it with me, which was great, great accountability having. And my wife doing it's been, and she's doing it right now too. So my daughter, I couldn't get my 18-year-old daughter to go in, but Mason and Nicole and myself are all doing it right now. But before she would go to the gym, this was when she was back working at Mayo, and she had to be at work at 7:30. Before she went to the gym, she took her selfie picture while she had her gym clothes on before going to the gym. So for me, it's the same thing. I get up, my routine, and actually we'll do routines next. That'll be how we finish. But let's go into Jennifer. What would be for you?
What's my worst?
Yeah.
Being strict on the food, because I have a husband who likes to eat hamburgers and he likes to go out to eat. Well, we all like to go out to eat.
Yeah.
So right now I'm giving up Mexican food, which I love Mexican food, except if I make it at home, which if I make it at home, I know it's really healthy, but it's not healthy at the restaurant. So I'm giving up Mexican food and burgers right now, which those are two things that are near and dear to my heart, because you can still eat that way and be healthy. You just can't eat that way every day.
Right.
But not on 75 hard.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and the good news is with regards to nutrition, you can pick, because I know some people are doing like low carb. Some people are like, I know probably you're following what we've done in our program, just eating clean, essentially. Right. But it doesn't mean you can't have carbs. It just means you have to stay away from the processed garbage. And
burgers are not
stick to it. No, I mean, like I do ground bison instead of making, like, I still have like a Mexican, like I still eat Mexican, but I don't eat I won't eat all the junk, the chips, all the extra sauces and things like that. And the dips and stuff like that. But I'll grind up the meat and put a little sprinkle of the seasoning so it'll taste like Mexican. I could put it in a lettuce wrap and put a little sauce over it, which is basically just tomatoes, and that's delicious.
Oh yeah.
What's really good is you figure out ways that'll work that you just didn't think about before, because it was so convenient to just eat whatever they had on the menu, right? Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I can make it at home. Like, I like to do take chicken, and then I'll put a lot of peppers and stuff in it and make my own, essentially like making fajitas at home.
Right.
Just in the skillet. And I can do that, but sometimes it's just nice to have somebody else cook.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the sacrifices now, right, for the benefit of what you'll achieve after. And then, you know what the funny thing is, over the last 3 or 4 times doing it for me personally, and I'll share what my worst is, but I would say things get refined where you don't tend to even want it after. Like you don't, like I know from just moving and stress of moving and being in a rental and trying to find a home and all that stuff and back and forth, et cetera. We definitely kind of leaned towards the things that comforted us. And a lot of times, while they tasted good on the front end, my body didn't feel very good on the back end, like just all the way around. I didn't have as much energy for my workouts. I didn't have as much clarity through my day. I didn't feel good in my clothing as much, or, all those things, right? Like I just knew, but I still went after those things. So you fall back what's familiar for when stressful, stress eating. We talked about a little bit about that last night too. For me, probably now I actually really kind of like it. I actually kind of am looking forward to my days by having a set structure to it.
Right.
And I think because you can have structure and then negotiate with your structure when you're not doing, say, 75 hard. You can always say, hey, I'll eat clean as much as I can, and on the weekend I might have some fun and blah, blah, blah. Right. There's nothing wrong with that. I just feel when you're way more consistent with your priorities and your non-negotiables, when you're consistently doing it, it just feels better. I wake up knowing what I need to do today, knowing that, I couldn't pick pizza, or I could, like, when you have those choices, you're almost like eliminating choices off of your plate, which make it less confusing and actually makes your mind not have to work as much either. So that's something that I've learned. One of the things I'm doing this time, which is different than I've done before, I haven't weighed myself once. I think I shared this with you guys. I'm just letting the pictures do the talking. So before I looked a little bit more on the scale and was more like celebrating when I saw a few pounds come off, fluctuate up or down and see that. But this time around, I'm just really trying to focus on like, as far as the progress pictures and seeing progress as far as that goes, knowing that all the other efforts I'm doing, the reading, I already blew through a book in 2 weeks. This is my second book of the year. And I'm thinking, man, well, let's just say if I carry this out through the year, give or take, I could read 2 books a month, 12 months. I could read probably potentially 24 books in the next year. Like, can I tell you, y'all, like 5 years ago, I read 4 books, maybe the whole year. So like, knowledge is power if you put it into practice, right? Like I truly believe that if you actually take action and put it into practice, everybody knows how to eat healthy and they know they need to move more, but it won't give you power until you put it into practice. Right. So maybe we finish with this. What are you most looking forward to by achieving this? And it could be anything. It could be visible. I want to see some amazing results. It can be, I want to keep reading. Do you guys have, or maybe you don't know and you'll just wait and see when you're on day 75 hard, day 75.
I'm looking forward to breaking some of the habits. In fact, I'm working on the coffee habit right now. And today is the first day I woke up and didn't have a headache. So that's wonderful.
Wow. No caffeine, no coffee?
No coffee. I drink water and I heat it up in the coffee cup so that I feel like I'm drinking coffee. But it's
tea? Any tea, like green tea or anything? Or no, you're not a tea person?
So I have a sleepy time tea that sometimes we pull out, and I did pull that out, but it's non-caffeinated. So I've had 2 of those, 2 sleepy time teas, and that's it. Otherwise, it's been water and fizzy water, no caffeine. And that's been a challenge, but we're doing it.
You get the endorphins, you get that energy going when you step out into the cold weather, right? And you have to break some ice from the goats.
Hacking at the ice.
Awesome. You guys aren't listening. We heard just before we came on, Jennifer, and it's your sister-in-law, is it?
It's my sister-in-law's
property,
but they're my goats.
And your goats. Yeah. So making sure the water is there available instead of them licking ice. And how much ice was there? How, like 6-8 inches thick? Oh, like
probably about 6 inches.
6 inches thick.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Of ice.
Wow.
And that's just since yesterday.
Wow.
So
I know here the pot, like the lakes and a lot of stuff is just frozen solid here. Which is crazy. I don't go ice skating, mate. I haven't been ice skating in a long time. Outside ice skating, I haven't been. How about for you, Lanette? What are you most looking forward to?
A couple of things. So I haven't even shared this with you, but starting next Monday, I'm also in part of the Orange Theory 2024 physical challenge. And nice. I chose to be, there's 2 groups, lose body fat or build muscle mass. Well, I want to build muscle mass. So I am really looking forward to the physical change because it's going to put me back into the bodybuilding mindset again, hardcore, all in. Awesome. Because there's money attached to if I'm in the top couple percentage. It's like, yes, let's do this. And it's all going to end about the same time. But, even more than that, just the feeling of empowerment at 62 that, boom, I did this.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And then what's really great, whether it's 62, 42, 82, whatever, it's not that necessarily did this. Kind of like I shared this with you guys too. And I've shared before. It's kind of like the training that you do for the marathon. While the anticipation for I did this is what you're looking forward to, it's the process of getting there that really provides the value that you get to take away. It's like, look, when Nicole and I did the Everesting event, it was a great event. It was such an awesome event, but it was also knowing for the whole year, we were, for the most part, the best we could, training to do this event. Going when we first moved here to go to the incline and try the incline to get acclimated to the altitude, right? And those type of things. Like, to me, I have more memories of that. For 75 hard, it's the same thing. I like the before and after as well. It's kind of nice to see. And I like, we had our photo shoot right after that, which was really awesome. We had our live experience, which was really cool. But to me, it's looking, the gap and gain is looking back. I like JoAnne just said earlier, Coach JoAnne said, she's like, did I just do that? Like that. And it's when you say that, when you hit the finish line, it's looking back and like, did I just do 75 days of selfie pictures too? Did I just do how many is that? 150 workouts? Did I just do 150 workouts in 75 days? So whereas like, I know my mind before that was just trying, and my workout was not my hard thing. I'd go to the gym 4 to 5 days a week, but doing 2 workouts a day, essentially. Now I will admit some of my walks I haven't rucked when it's super cold out because it's kind of hard to like bulky. I will say it's an excuse. I'm just saying, let me get out and do my walk and get out there and do it. But wearing a ruck, which is just a weighted pack to make it a little bit more challenging. But man, after doing a workout already, or doing a gym workout, or doing some strength training, and then having to go a second time, not to mention extra laundry, right? All that extra laundry as well. Fortunately, it's cold and sweat, so I wear things a few times. But outside of that, yeah. So what else? I think JoAnne, what are you most looking forward?
I'm most looking forward to more or additional mental growth and clarity that this program particularly gives you. That's been what has helped me the most the first time. And so far this time is the incredible growth you have mentally and the clarity you get. And that's been what I look forward to the most. And then, like Jennifer, coffee.
Yeah, caffeine, coffee.
Yeah. Plus the bonding with all of us together, doing it together and achieving it together.
Priceless.
Yeah, for sure. There was one more thing I want to finish with, I think, and I think we're coming up to the end. But I wanted to share one more thing yeah. This is something I think usually comes up because I know it's come up for me in the beginning because I've gotten pushback from people. Why the heck would you ever do that? What do you mean? What is this kind of cult thing? What are you like? You're crazy. You're doing, how much water are you drinking a day? Like, you're not like, really? Like, why would anyone want to do that? Or they'll say like a challenge into being like, oh, I'm going to do my version of that. Well, there's no other version of it. Like Andy will tell you, it's probably in the book, very clear. 75 hard is exactly the way I shared what you do 2 workouts. There's no 75 soft. There's no like, let me do my version of it, right? When you start, that's the whole reason why you need to do it the way it's scheduled, right? And I can't do the justice as much as he can really like beat you down to understand that there's a reason why you do something hard like this. The way I like to put it is do the hard now so that the stuff that comes your way that's hard later won't be that hard.
Right.
Like that's just the reality. The mental toughness gives you almost like you putting on a bulletproof vest. Like you shoot the vest, it might hurt, but it's not going to go into you and kill you, right? Like where I think things that come into, I believe in this next year and election season, all crazy stuff, right? World's kind of going all crazy. But to have the extra bit of mental toughness and awareness and resiliency, right? And durability to be able to say, you know what, man, I got through 75 hard. I made some choices. I can still make non-negotiables. There might be all this going on over here, but I'm taking care of my mindset. I'm taking care of my habits. I'm taking care of what I'm putting in my body. I'm taking care of who I'm choosing to be around, like those. And you know what, to be honest with you, until you do it, and I know you guys are all, you have done it or trying to do it and doing it now, nobody will be able to understand until they do it themselves. Like it's the same. Nicole didn't understand when I did it until she did it herself. She's like, oh, I see what this is all about now, which is awesome. All right, cool. I think that if this helps, just wanted you guys to know this show here, we don't do any kind of advertising on here. I've done a lot of advertising, to be honest with you. I didn't see nearly as much of the return on my investment. And that's why the only way really this show will get out is if you share it. Of course, if you liked it, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Maybe you're thinking about doing 75 hard. Definitely want to get the book, Mental Toughness book. You can check out Andy Frisella. He has a Real AF podcast. It's one of probably the most popular podcasts on the planet that's out there as far as for self-development. He is also an entrepreneur in multi-businesses, super successful. So the way I see it and what I share with my coaches is you want to surround yourself with people that are already where you're at, trying to achieve. And maybe you're not trying to achieve what they're exactly trying to achieve, but you want to learn from them. And I'm excited that my coaches are learning from my example from doing this the first time, just as I learned from my coach when I was asked to do it 3 years ago for the first time. That is all I have. Listen, to stay up to date, we have some exciting things coming. One being our own, I'll just share a little bit of the secret, our brand new community that we're working very, very diligently behind the scenes. What we've noticed, and I'm sure you have also noticed, is that social media can be very helpful and useful, but also can be not very, really good for you. A lot of negativity, a lot of stuff, a lot of, not freedom of speech things. And maybe this, just because I said this, will get suppressed. But ultimately, we are building our own community. And if you'd like to learn more about our brave community that we have, you can reach out to us and you can send me a message. If you want to ask any questions, you can ask, and I'll maybe answer those on one of the next shows. And with that, from the brave team here, from me to you, I hope you guys are braver today than you were yesterday. Take care and have a blessed one. We'll see you.